Sir, please, can you tell us a little bit about what stakeholder management is all about?
Okay, stakeholder management is a process of identifying, analyzing, assessing, and controlling certain individuals and organizations who have influence over your business or organization.
Hello and welcome to the Groom to Grow project. I remain your host, Hanson, Pepple. And with me in the studio today is Mr. Gideon. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. Hello, viewers.
Today, we want to unravel a very important concept in business management, and that is stakeholder management. Business is all about relationships. Your approach to every stakeholder is important to your business success. So, Mr. Gideon and myself will be talking about how you can manage your stakeholders so that you can achieve this business success. So, sir, please, can you tell us a little bit about what stakeholder management is all about?
Okay, stakeholder management is a process of identifying, analyzing, assessing, and controlling certain individuals and organizations who have influence over your business or organization.
Okay, very good. So basically, we'd like you to know that without having control or without properly managing these people, any one of these stakeholders can wreak havoc to your business, be it your customers, your suppliers, your employees, your board, your management, or even regulatory authorities. So it's important the way you manage them. So, sir, what processes are involved in properly managing stakeholders in our organizations?
Okay, first of all, there has to be stakeholder identification, because you need to really understand the stakeholders for your business. So who are these stakeholders?
So are you saying that every business has a unique set of stakeholders?
Yes, of course.
So someone in the aviation industry has its own unique kind of stakeholders that are different from someone in the agro-based industry?
Yes, of course.
Okay, beautiful. So you identify who they are?
Identify who they are.
Okay.
Now, when you identify who they are, then you'll be able to assess these individuals and analyze them. Now, there's what is called a power interest grid.
Power interest grid.
You classify them into the 4 quadrants of power interest grid.
Okay.
So that you know those that you satisfy, you keep informed, you manage closely, and you monitor. Okay. So there are 4 quadrants of the power interest grid.
Okay, so please, can you take it bit by bit? When you say power interest grid, are you talking about the grid that people have for power?
No, not really.
What do you mean by power interest grid?
Okay, now the power interest grid has 4 quadrants.
That's GR.
Yes, GRID.
Oh, I thought you meant GR.
No, not at all.
Okay.
So you classify the stakeholders into the power interest grid. We have high power, high interest.
Okay.
Now these high power, high interest, this category, it's
when you say power, are you also referring to influence?
Yes, I'm talking about influence, because already I discussed that stakeholder management has to do with identifying, analyzing certain individuals and organizations that exert certain influence on your business. So when I talk about power, I talk about extent of influence. We have people who have high power and high interest in your business or your organization. Basically, the investors and regulatory bodies fall under this quadrant.
Okay.
So the quadrant is called the high power and high interest quadrant.
Sorry, if I may come in. High power, which means they have so much influence.
High, yes, they have so
and
much
they are also
influence.
interested.
They are also
in
interested
the
in
business
the
process
business
or in the project you're carrying
exactly.
out. Okay, so you're saying that people who fall into this category are the regulatory authorities?
Yes.
Because they can decide how
their policies can affect your business.
Affect the business.
And they are also interested in your production.
Okay.
Whether your production is according to law or as of
standard.
law.
Okay. So they are protecting the interests of the public.
Exactly.
By regulating you.
Exactly.
So that's why their power and interest is high.
Yes.
Okay. Then the investors, can you throw more light? Why should they be in that category?
The investors have high level of influence because they definitely form a significant part of your shareholders.
Okay.
You understand me?
Okay.
They can pick interest in your business and they will buy large amount of shares from your business. So the exact high level of influence on your business because their investment can affect your business.
Okay.
When they retrieve or sell off their shares, it can also affect your business.
So you want to be sure that you manage them very closely.
Exactly.
Okay, because of the interest they have in the business.
Exactly.
Okay, so please viewers, I hope you're getting value. So in the first quadrant, my friend has talked about those with high power and high interest. So these are people you manage closely. Like you should never have any problem with this set of people. Am I right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so can we go further to more detail of
another quadrant is the high power, low interest. I think the category of people that fall under this quadrant are your management team. Because your management team has a way of influencing your business to a high extent. In fact, they are the teams you work with.
Okay.
So their team spirit, the efforts, the level of diligence they put into production or into whatever you're doing affects your business.
Okay.
So this set of people, you have to keep them satisfied in order to run your business very well.
Now, I want a little bit of explanation because when you say the management having high power and low interest, I was thinking that there will also be high power, high interest. So why is their interest low? Can you explain a little bit?
They are just workers. Okay. And they know that, of course, you're using them for production. Okay. They are only getting paid. So they may not really be so much, in fact, they may not be interested in your business.
The profitability.
They may not be interested in the profitability. They are only interested to getting the specific results you want them to get, and they move on because they know that one day they can as well leave your business. So they have very low interest, but their actions can significantly affect your business.
So that's why their power is very high.
Their power is
and
very
they
high.
need to be informed, satisfied.
They need to be satisfied. You need to motivate them. You need to adequately ensure that their welfare is ensured, top notch, so that you keep your team always motivated for a profitable production.
So viewers, what we are trying to say here is that despite the fact that this set of people may not have so much interest in what becomes of your company, the level where they are as management team means that they have tremendous power, and that power can also mar or make your business. So you want to make sure that you keep them satisfied according to our guests. So in satisfying them, you make sure that their welfare is a priority. You make sure that you communicate with them. You make sure that you carry them along all the way, right?
Yes.
Okay. So are there more to the power interest?
I've talked about 2 quadrants, right? I've talked about the high power, high interest. I've talked about the high power, low interest. Now another quadrant is the low high interest.
Okay.
Low power. Now, the category of people that fall into low power high interest are your customers. Your customers may have low interest because it's your business. They are only consumers.
Okay.
But they have high interest. They have low power, but they have high interest in your product or services. So they can exert low influence on your production, but they are interested in your product. Now, this kind of persons, you have to keep them informed. That is why advertisement is necessary in business. You have to adequately inform your customers about your products and services.
So how often should you inform your customers? Because they are not internal to your business. You know, you do business and people patronize you from, let's say, around the world. So what are the mechanisms for reaching out to your customer newsletter? I want you to give us details of how you can keep your customers informed.
Okay, fine. You can keep your customers informed through several strategies. It can be social media approach. It can be using through newspaper publications. It can be using celebrity. Another strategy to keep your customers informed is also making sure that the label for your product is adequately crafted so that they can read vital information about your product. So you can even use word of mouth. You can even send commission marketers to go around informing your potential customers about your product and services. So there are several approaches you can use to promote your brand.
To keep them informed.
To keep them in quadrants.
Okay.
Now the last quadrant is the low power, low interest category.
Okay.
We have stakeholders that fall under this quadrant, and they are basically your employees. Your employees have low power over your business because you can control them. They also have low interest with the management team. They have low interest with the management team because they are just only your employees. They are there to work for money and achieve results for you. They can leave tomorrow or they can stay, depends on how you monitor them. So this kind of persons, this kind of stakeholders should be adequately monitored. Monitoring is a core organizational function of the manager. So they have to be adequately monitored to get results.
Now, my last question for you, and of course it's usually a bonus question because we've actually talked about a lot of things about stakeholder management. First of all, you talked about identifying them, assessing, and then engaging them through the power interest grid. Now, you've placed stakeholders in different quadrants and assigned them whether they are high power, low interest, and all of that. Now, is it possible for a change in power and interest levels of these stakeholders?
Yes, I feel that personally, this classification is somewhat artificial, but it's scholarly because we've been able to understand that different stakeholders have different level of influence on business, but there could be a flip. There could actually be a flip. Some of your team members can actually be in the high power, high interest grid. Depending on the context. So there could be a flip, a change. It's not as if it's an absolute quadrant, but it's a significant quadrant which will help business owners to be able to classify different stakeholders to their relating to their business.
Okay. Now, is there something that a business owner can do to influence this change, either to accelerate it or to?
Yes, of course. Entrepreneurs can change the interest of the team members who ordinarily fall into high power, low interest. Now you can do this by, there's a way you can give your team members this sense of belonging to your business so that they can have so much interest. Even the employees can develop so much interest and they can become so attached to your business. So that's how an entrepreneur can do that.
Okay, thank you very much. Wonderful viewers. We believe that you've learned one or two things from our discussion on stakeholder management. Now, please, if you've been running your business without being aware of these issues, we encourage you to begin to be systematic in your approach and begin to do your stakeholder management properly. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.